coming up in this episode, getting a face full of radial. Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Bowerman Airport in Washington. Yeah, we're going to take the Hellcat up. I promised I would, and I'm going to. And yes, it's a Royal Navy Hellcat, and we're in the United States of America. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting in front of a desk, wearing my gym jams, flying a pretend aeroplane. So if we want to fly a Royal Navy aircraft in America, then we can do. We can do anything we want. So this should be a nice little hop. It's a hop that I've done quite often in P3D. And I think I've done it maybe once or twice, but not for a while in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Certainly never done it in the Hellcat, which is a beautiful aircraft and a great addition to the Warbird fleet in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Just a quick caveat, this is not a tutorial. I'm still learning the ropes with the Hellcat. Yeah, I just wanted to do a nice little flight with you on board, and we will see where it takes us. Hope you enjoy. Rightio, let's get this show on the road. I don't want to waffle too much on the ground here, because after all, we've come here to fly, haven't we? So I'm going to use the checklist on the tablet. There's a handy little click spot there, which I'm sure you all know about anyway, but either that or it's reaching down for it, whatever side it's on. Right, so engine start, cowl flaps fully open. We'll have that, please. Throttle 20%. Mixture auto lean. Let's put that in auto lean. Supercharger neutral lever is automatic. That's not modelled at the moment in the sim. Hopefully that'll be one of the things that get brought in at a later date. Battery on. There we go. What else we got? Fuel selector right main. Come on. There we go. Fuel selector right main. Fuel pump on. Fuel pressure 8 psi, which it is, which is great. Primer 3 to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go in the middle and see where we get. 4 seconds seems to work for me quite well. Let's have the ignition on both. Okay, just have a quick look around. We will put some lights on. I don't actually normally put lights on here, but just because we're flying it modern day and we don't want to upset anybody by not realizing we've got lights, we're starting the engine. Come on. Yeah, you can tell I've not put the lights on before. I can't get the damn thing to work. Okay, exterior lights is automatically set to on. Or that switches anyway. Okay, right, where did we get to? So we've done that, we've primed it. Ignition is on both. Let's get started. And when we get started, we want to go to auto rich on the mixture. So my left hand now going to the mixture lever. Let's go. There we go, auto rich on there. Quick check over here, bring that down a little bit. We want maximum of 1000 RPM while we're warming up. T's and P's are looking okay. Oil temperature is approaching 40. Pretty much there. Okay, let's close that. Quick look around again. Everything's looking fine. Okay, we'll go to the next one, taxi. Cowl flaps fully open, they are. Tail wheel is unlocked, which it is. Lights we've done. RPM for taxi, low and steady preferred. That's how we roll. Very quickly, just remembered. Don't want to hide the pilot anymore. This, if you've got the Hellcat, you'll know what this is. This is quite useful when you're learning the ropes. This is basically telling you when you're over stretching it with regard regards to your temperatures. This aircraft is very susceptible to temperature rises and damages. One of the nice things about it actually is that you have to watch the temperatures a bit. Kind of reminiscent of the A2A spit in P3D. You have to keep an eye on that and make sure that your shutters are adjusted accordingly. Right, so let's taxi this thing. What have we got for wind? Little nav map. So we've got 2 knots from 254, so that's kind of cool. We can take runway 24, which the threshold is over there. That's quite handy. Right, let's get rid of you for a second. The sat nav is all set up. This is the modded sat nav in from flightsim.to. If you're wondering why I'm flying a Warbird with a sat nav, I thought I'd do something a bit different with this one. I thought I would bob the sat nav in rather than have the gun sight, because a lot of restoration Warbirds that are flying today would have a sat nav in them. So that's what I'm doing with this one. Don't need a gun sight, so it's a little bit different and quite good for doing some, doing some touring, really. Nice thing about this Hellcat also is that it's got really nicely modelled ground handling. You've got this lovely differential braking and also blipping the throttle to get air over the rudder so that you've got some command on it, and also when you are at speed and obviously you've got the resultant airflow coming over it, that will help as well. It's the best Warbird ground handling by far in this sim at the moment, and I love it to bits. Right, stop waffling, let's have a look. Run up check, wings are spread and locked, engine rev to clear, we can do that in a sec. Cowl flaps half open, oil cooler shutter fully open, so let's quickly do that. Cowl flaps half, oil full, intercooler shutter doors closed. I must admit I've not really used this much, but it is there. I've not done much high altitude in this yet. Propeller is fully increase, mixture auto rich, which it is, and fuel selector is right main, which it is. Carburetor protected air is full in. Yes, do love that panel. Fuel pressure 16 to 8.5, which it is. Sorry, did I say 16 to 8.5? 16 to 18.5, which it is. Pretty much. There we go. Let's just put that back up to 1000 RPM. I think they dropped a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Right, and it's not going to have it there, is it? No, it's not. So I'm going to do a quick mag check. So I'm going to RPM to 2000. Gently does it. And we'll do a quick mag check now. Get the click spot. Fine. Cycle the prop. Two. And then we'll do one more for luck. But the RPM coming back nicely to where we want it to be. Okay. Let's bring the RPM back down again. Let's not do anything silly. Just out of interest, let's have a look at our stressometer. So only a minor oil temperature stress, 0.5%, 0.6 it's raising, so we can live with that. Right, rudder trim, 2 marks to the right. This is an interesting aircraft to trim. We'll talk a bit more about that when we get in the air. So we've done that. Quick control check. Yes, everything's wobbling the way it should do. Rudder, yes, that's good. We'll be able to control the thing. Okay, so I think we've pretty much done everything we want to do there. Quick look at the temperatures, nothing silly going on there. Checklists, we've done the run-up check, takeoff check. So wing flaps is required, we're not worrying about that. Tail wheel is locked, we'll do that when we get on the runway. Throttle we're looking at 44, we're not going to overstress it, so quite happy with 44. And we're taking off at between 90 and 100 knots. Raise the gear after we take off, yes, we like doing that. Throttle 52.5 inches and 130 is best speed for climb. Okay, happy with that, happy with that, happy with that, happy with that, happy with that. Just a quick thought. Okay. Right, let's roll. Just a quick check. I haven't got AI on or anything like that, or multiplayer, so we shouldn't really see anything coming in, but it's always a good habit to have, because there's nothing more frustrating for another pilot when you're doing a nice approach and you suddenly see some idiot coming in. A little bit of a pause there. Not using DLSS. I am on 1080p, so there is a performance boost for me, but with 1080p monitor it's a little bit there's a little bit blurring, so I'm not bothering with that at the moment. Right, let's lock the tail wheel. I've actually been doing some taking off and landing with the tail wheel unlocked, and kind of liking the extra control, but that's something a bit more to experiment with. Just checking the recentering the head tracking there. Right, let's go. So what were we saying? Right, and that's saying 44. Throttle 44, max 54. So yeah, let's try 44. Okay, let's go. Add a bit of power. Brakes are still on. Release now. Oh, watch the aileron there a bit. Gear up. Let's come back. There's a hull. Ease back a little bit on the RPM. Beautiful. So let's just have a quick look at Bowerman. Actually, now the people who fly in P3D, of course, will be used to the Orbex Bowerman, which is a thing of beauty, and the ones that are still in P3D and not come over to this and are haters of Microsoft Flight Simulator will probably be saying how beautiful their Bowerman still is. Yes, chaps, well done, you're absolutely right. This one is lacking compared to the old one in P3D, but hopefully at some point someone will bring one out. It's a lovely little airfield for doing hops around Washington State, but needs a bit of work on in this one, but still it gives us a nice location. More than happy with that. Just easing back a bit. But it is gorgeous scenery up here. Let's do a bit of trimmage. Keep Now, I was saying about the trim in this. If you've got this aircraft, you know all about this anyway. It won't be news to you, but one of the really interesting things in this is the amount of aileron trim that you need. At the moment, I'm holding the wings level. If I centre the stick, you see we get some left wing down, so straight away you're looking at getting some aileron trim in just to balance that out, so we'll get that done nicely. A little bit more. There we go. But that's a nice little something. Anything that gives us a little bit more to do and feels a bit more realistic is well worth it. So, let's bring her right back. Get us back on track, so we're looking at a course of about 6 degrees really once we get onto the magenta line. Play with the cloud a little bit. Right, let's go back into auto lean now that we're not doing anything silly. Just a little bit more trim. You do have to keep on top of the trim. Some high ground up ahead. But yeah, this has always been a really nice area to fly, and it's funny, I was thinking of where to set this video. And I thought, you know, why not come here and have a look? I've got the Orcas Island Airport from Orbeck, so I thought it'd be interesting to fly there. And also just see what this scenery looks like. Bit of a change from flying in the UK. Take you somewhere a bit different. And this area is certainly very beautiful. See, definitely a theme in my videos though. I think that it tends to involve trees, mountains and this kind of thing, I would say. Yeah. Just out of interest, if there's anywhere you'd like me to fly from or have a look at, maybe it's your local area, maybe it's somewhere you think is particularly beautiful, stick something down in the comments down below. That would be quite interesting to know. I think one of the great things about talking to other people who fly real or simulated is finding out nice places to go up, and definitely always open to that. And while we're at it, talking about that sort of thing, we have a Discord link down below. We have group flights, somewhere to post screenshots, somewhere to talk about aviation real and simulated, talk about hardware. There's even a community help section if you've got any questions about technical or otherwise, stick that down there. And every now and again we also have a group flight, but also the group flight section is intended also if you're looking to fly with someone else, you haven't got anyone to fly with at that particular time, and you'd like to see if anyone's available to be your wingman, then you can just stick a note in there saying that you're about to go up, where you're going up, and see if anyone wants to join. Or you can pre-plan it. You know, the section is there for the group members who are looking for people to fly with. The section is there for the group members to go in, post something up, and see who's available to come along. And of course, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. It helps it grow. We're above 3,000 subscribers now, so a massive thank you to everyone out there who has already subscribed. It really does tickle me that people sign up to watch the content. It is much appreciated, and it's always good to see new people come on board. Sorry about that. So, I've just realised I'm waffling along and not really been paying attention on things. Let's have a quick look at the how close to your blow up is your engine doing. So our oil temperature is a little bit stressed, and that's rising, so we will just open the oil cooler a little bit. If we look down here at the oil temperature, you can see it doesn't look like it's stressed out really, but worth keeping an eye on that. And here we are in the mountains. It's always a lovely place to be. Notice we are departing from the magenta line a little bit, but we don't have to stick to it. If we want to look at something, we can look at something. We're in a warbird, for crying out loud. We're not in an airliner where we've got to stick to a heading. A lot of the joy of flying this sort of thing is the freedom to go where you want, when you want. One of the big reasons I don't really do VATSIM, I like the freedom to enjoy the experience of flight, even though it's simulated, rather than be bound by set procedures and that sort of thing. Having said that, I will do some VATSIM at some point. That's a bit of a shame. That's one of those funny little water features where that's probably a trickle of a stream, but the scenery has automated that as a rather large river running down the side of the mountain. You see some odd things like that once in a while, but I don't think it detracts too much from the beauty of the rest of the scenery. So yeah, very interesting aircraft this. I've got to be completely honest with you, I wasn't going to buy it. I originally, when they first announced it, I was quite excited, and then as it got close to the time, I thought, well, I'll buy it and I'll do a like a review video. And then they, as people often do, which is absolutely fine, and sometimes I even get one from some developers, they gave like a pre-release copy to some YouTubers, and they did review videos ahead of release. So I thought, well, there's no point me doing a review now really, or just buying it to do a review, because there's already plenty of those out there and they've done a grand job of it, so I don't need to do anything. So I wasn't going to get it because I didn't really think I'd use it, and it's compared to the Spit, it's not the prettiest of aeroplanes, but then it got released and people were saying how amazing it was, and people whose opinions I respect were all saying, wow, this is just such a beautiful aeroplane. So I thought, why not? So I went out and got it, and have absolutely fallen in love with it. It's, as a flying experience, it's wonderful. FlyingIron have really packed some nice, realistic handling feelings. I'm trying to choose my words to adequately describe it, but things like the handling on the ground, the handling in the air, having to watch the temperatures, these are all things that start to feel very nice and start to feel quite realistic. And certainly anyone who has flown A2A understands that this isn't A2A standard, but it's the closest thing in terms of a warbird at the moment to that, and they've done a pretty nice job of it. It's got lovely sounds, it's got character. I even like how it looks now, because I think that's all part of the overall the overall picture. How it looks, how it sounds, all comes together to create a really nice package, and I'm just so glad I bought it. I got the Lightning to make a review video, and I hardly fly it, and I was worried that this would end up the same way, but it isn't. In fact, recently I've been flying this more than the Spit, and what I'm really excited to see, and I don't know if they will, but what I'm really excited to see is if they implement any of the like the ground handling that they have in this, that same kind of the way it works with the differential braking and everything, if they implement that into the Spit, because one of the frustrating things with the Spit is that kind of GTA ground handling that it has. Otherwise it's a lovely aeroplane. And the great thing about FlyingIron with the Spit is that they've constantly updated it, and they started updating it very quickly, which is nice to see. So let's have a quick look at how much damage are you doing to your engine-ometer. So, a bit of a pause there. I'm getting a few of those since the new SU10 update. Every now and again it has a little bit of a thing there. Everything is looking good here. Just listening to the engine a bit. Check the RPM and the manifold pressure, that's where it should be. Lumpy, bangy, mountainy thing up ahead, so let's climb a little bit. A little bit of snow. Check around, everything's looking good. Stunning. Over the lumpy stuff now. And we can start descending a little as we head for the wet stuff. We've got a short crossing. say, I'm not really a massively techie person, as you could probably guess from previous videos if you've watched them. But apart from that strange kind of pause I get once in a while, of only like a second or two, and I'm seeing nice performance in SU10. The visuals seem slightly better, although I don't know if that's just psychological, an expectation of an improvement, so therefore I'm seeing it. I don't know. I don't look at my FPS anymore. I used to look at my FPS and monitor the numbers closely, whereas these days I kind of work more on the principle if it looks nice, then I'm happy with that. I'm not going to worry that I've had a drop of 4 or 5 FPS, as long as I actually like the way it looks, and I like the way this looks. No issues there. Quite smooth. I know the scenery isn't going to be particularly taxing on it. Someone out on their motor yacht there. Right, now let's keep our wits about it on the water. This water is, what have we got? I'm not sure what the surface wind is. Up where we are at the moment is about 5 knots. So as you can see, the waves aren't particularly massive, and that's where you have to be a bit careful playing about over water, in case you, especially when it's like a mirror, because it's very easy to, without checking the altimeter, forget just how low you are. But I think it's always a bit of fun flying low over water, especially if there's boats around. Lovely scenery. I know I keep saying it, but the sim sometimes does present you with some really nice views and some really atmospheric moments. And when you have some cloud and you can see the reflections and the shadows on the water, and also what very much looks like kind of disturbances on the surface of the water, where perhaps you've got light wind, current, all changing how the surface of the water looks. It just looks quite realistic, in my humble opinion. Right, quick look around. How's our T's and P's? All temperatures come down quite nicely. And I think our cylinder head temperature is nothing to worry about. Let's have a quick look at the bangometer. Yeah, that's all looking good. No issues there. About to make landfall here. It's the San Juan Island National Historic Park, and we're just about to, I guess we're going to be crossing now onto land at Eagle Cove Beach. For anyone who is around here, I've no idea if that's what it's like. If you know this area, please do pop a comment below and let me know if it kind of looks quite realistic. Always interesting to know. Down here we've got Friday Harbour, which is another popular destination, so we're just going to say hello to Friday Harbour. This is why we don't fly with air traffic control. I seem to remember this is one of the enhanced airports in Flight Sim, but I might be wrong. Take the centre bit there. Oh, that's what I don't like, that pause. Let's come back on course. Okay, I'm going to put into auto rich now. And we're coming up on Orcas Island Airport here. As I say, this is the Orbex version that we're going to be using. What do we got in the wind store today? Looks like it's crosswind of about 4 knots coming from the west. It's going to do a pause just as it starts loading the airport in. Oh no, good so far. Hello Orcas. So let's now chop back a bit, get ourselves in a position to land. One of the things I've noticed about the Hellcat, which is quite nice, is that she loses speed at a reasonable rate, so you're not kind of slipping around so much as you do with some of the other aircraft in Flight Sim, where they don't seem to have any drag. She does have drag, which is good. Right, let's dangle the Dunlops. One of the other great things about this is there's the flaps. The flaps are kind of auto adjusting to the speed, so that if you're doing a deck landing you can whack those down, and at the critical moments you're not worrying about flap position, which is quite clever. I would normally do a bit more of a curved approach for visibility, but we're alright. Should really concentrate a bit. We're getting blown a little by this crosswind. Little off centre there. Keep it there. Go. Okay. Little bit late on touchdown there. Probably not helped by the fact of the brilliant visibility I had because of the way I had set up the approach. It's always a good idea to give yourself a bit of a telling off if you do things like that, and at the end of the day, let's face it, it's the only way to learn. When you do things a little bit, let's say less than perfect, it's always a good idea just to debrief yourself a little bit. Right, just check, I've got the flaps up, I have. Very narrow taxiway this. Let's watch the speed. Slight little wiggle of an S-turn there just so we can get an idea of where we are. So yeah, Orcas Island is a nice little airport to come into. Lovely for GA and warbirds. But I'm kind of reminded I've not been here for a long time. Let's just watch the... bring it forward a little bit more. Watch the cub, mate. Whoa. Don't worry about the ground worker, he shouldn't be standing there anyway. Big aircraft coming. Something I realised that I haven't done is I haven't opened my cowl flaps for landing, which is a little bit silly. I have got a bit of oil cooler, so let's have a look at the bangometer and see what it's saying. Well, even though I haven't got my cowl flaps open, I'm not stressing anything, so I would say I've probably got away with luck there rather than any kind of skill, but that's not too bad. Okay, so let's get the parking brake on. Right, there we have it. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this flight. I hope you found it enjoyable. Beautiful aircraft, the Hellcat. If you haven't got it, I can recommend it. Simple as that, and I think you can probably tell that by now anyway. Great having you along, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.